All right, so yeah, we're talking about some third-party secondary credit bureaus other than TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. Everybody knows those three, but there are plenty more of third-party bureaus and that hold public records that kind of partner with these main three, and they pull data from other sources and relay it up, and then when the banks pull your information, they got all your data and all the information tied to a certain address, tied to a certain phone number. And when you're building out these profiles, you do not want those certain profiles to merge. So you need to know what data is what, freeze which ones, know how to opt in, opt out of which credit bureaus. And I'm going to give you all that sauce, all that information right here on this live. Also, if you got any questions about credit, questions about opening up a business, crypto, investments, anything financial, I'd like to give my point of view of it, sort of like Dave Ramsey style, answering questions for you guys. Is you solicit your questions, I give you my take on the situation. I am not a financial advisor. It's not financial advice. You just giving my point of view of things, how I go about building wealth and building top tier credit, getting to the money, and getting to the next level and level up in life. All right. If you like the information, hit that like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. It helps out the algorithm and gets me out to a wider audience. And if you want to drop a Cash App or a little jam for your boy, drop a little something on me. I appreciate that. So where y'all checking in from? Let's get into the top third party. All right. Fantasy football. Third party apps, secondary credit bureaus. Let's get into it. All right. So here we got first one, Clarity. They're part of the Experian network, clarityservice.com. Giving y'all the sauce, giving y'all these websites. A lot of people don't do all this. I mean, it's really not hard to find. Quick Google search. Quick, third party credit bureaus, different type of credit bureaus, different type of public records for your credit. Things you can play around with in AI, ChatGPT, play around in Google about CP is building a profile, but they don't know the extra little things that help get your credit profile, in the right hands, lack of better words, in the right credit bureaus, so they can pull and know what's going on. So you can freeze your report. So if you're, building your credit, if you're doing credit repair, you want to freeze your report, opt out of your personal credit, especially if you're building your CP, building your secondary profile. You don't want those profiles to merge. You don't want them finding any other information. So you go ahead and freeze and opt out of your bureaus. Next one, we got Microbuilt. Microbuilt is more on the business side. So there's another way you can build your profiles is by attaching them to a business, and using these companies called Microbuilt will help you get into different business databases and help solidify your business as well. Next, we got FactorTrust. You can opt in and opt out right here at FactorTrust. Now, the key to FactorTrust is you got to start waiting. You can't just hop right in. Can't just hop right in to these bureaus. When you're building out these profiles, you can't do everything the same day. You got to start waiting a couple of days, waiting a couple of weeks even, in between applying, going to different credit bureaus, uploading your data, getting inquiries. it's starting to raise a lot more red flags, doing a lot of things the same day. As these bureaus collect your data, they can see when it's coming in. So if they see a bunch of data coming in the same day, that raises a red flag, and it starts to flag your profile, and you start looking like a fraud risk, and you start to seeing where you can't just quickly apply and get approved of things. You're starting to have to put in a little bit more. A couple of next one we got is called DataX. And you put that one on the thing. DataX, company based out of Dallas, Texas, and Vegas. Let me show y'all that one. Show y'all Dallas X. All right, so here's DataX. It's another Equifax company. The other one was now Clarity was Experian. This one is tied in with Equifax. So it's another database where Equifax pull their data from, so you can freeze this one, freeze your main report, and then opt in. Now I don't see an opt-in form on this one, so you may not be able to opt in, but you can opt out of your personal credit and freeze those third-party bureaus, and it helps you build your secondary profile. All right. Here's the freeze form. Here's the opt-out form. Right here, you can call, you send in a letter, and looks like you can do it electronically. No, this is the form. You got to actually mail this in. So no shortcuts. You got to do a little work, but definitely worth it. Incorrect reports. Let me see what they do. Okay. So if you got some incorrect information, you can also send it in as well. And they give you a free credit report. And download a request form, just like ta-da. All right, we got a couple of more. Next one, some of y'all probably heard of this one already. Innovis. Now, Innovis is pretty much opt-out pre-screen. It's pretty much the same thing, but they have their own website where they do personal and business databases. So if you're looking to get your information cleaned up or information out there, go through Innovis. But opt-out pre-screen is the top company you want to use to opt out of your personal or opt in if you're building a new profile and you want to get access from the credit bureaus to see your information. You want them to find you. You need them to find you. That's the only way you're going to get applied for credit. All right. Just giving y'all some free game, giving y'all some information right now. Got about 5 databases so far. We got another one. A lot of people heard of this one as well. It's called ChexSystems. Spell it checks just like that nasty cereal. And then you go to checks. So ChexSystem is, tied in with banks. So if you ever tried to turn 200 into 2,000, man, you can't get a bank account right now. You're in the ChexSystems. So you want to get out the ChexSystems. So this is one of the websites you want to go to get out of the ChexSystem, or freeze it or opt out, and it will help you get approved for another bank account. Now, there's some other databases that tie in with that. So not all banks and credit unions do ChexSystems, but some of the big ones do, and this is a way to help you get another bank account. You dig? What up, my boy? Detroit. You say, my CPR rate tremor, can I just keep boosting public records before the opt-in and secondaries? Yeah, you definitely want to keep boosting it with public records regardless. Try merge, you want over 100 public records, 200 public records. There's no limit on public records, but just kind of get tired doing the same thing, typing in that information, or you can pay somebody. If you don't want to do that, really, I don't do no more than 12 for the most part, really, in the first beginning, and then I may pay somebody as time go on when I want to get higher limit cards and bigger limit cards and get proof of more things. But as I first start off building a profile, bro, I don't even do too much. I don't try to spend too much money, spend too much time doing these public records unless I pay somebody to do a bot for me or pay somebody to add a bunch of public records for a client. If I'm doing one for a client, then I might, do them all first before I opt into the secondary bureaus. But all of it is kind of tied in. All of it is tied in together. But like I said, you don't want to do everything all in one day. Nowadays, you want to space these things out. So, I kind of saw making magenta the profile in one day, then maybe wait 2 days and, do some credit pulls and wait another 2 days to do some of these secondary bureaus and some of these public records. Just kind of space out the information. And we're having a lot more success that way. We're getting some approvals. You did. Appreciate the question, man. It's a good question right there. All right, so we got ChexSystems. You can freeze, dispute. Where I usually go to dispute part or submit an opt-out form to get out of here. Can't really opt in to ChexSystems. This is more of an opt-out once you already got in trouble with the bank. But getting a bank account is pretty easy. It's more getting approved for loans. It's the hard part with these new profiles. Let's ChexSystems. What else we got? FactorTrust. Oh yeah, CoreLogic. Last but not least, we got CoreLogic, which they changed their name to CoreLogic. The hell is this? And then, but last but not least, here's the last website, last database called CoreLogic. CoreLogic, now CoreLogic or CredCo. Go by a couple of names, but you can come here, go by phone, and obtain your credit report, do a freeze, opt out, opt in, and they're tied into all three databases as well. And that's CredCo or cotality.com. All right. Yeah, so that's the feature presentation. Now we just, going over whatever y'all want to go over. Any comments? I'm going to ask them about the consultation. Yes, sir. But the consultation, creditk.com.